healer.
I'll ask Jim tomorrow. I'll ask him what it is, and then I'll figure it out for tonight, what he called it. Because he was the first people to play it, and he got to regionals with it. And it's like, that's an accomplishment in itself, I think. And yeah, so I think he deserves to name it, I feel. Not that you're not a great Windwalker monk, but I feel like it's kind of on them. I can't remember what they named it.
Alright, both teams are ready, man. I'm going to jump into this best of 3 to determine who goes to the semifinals. Is it going to be the previous champions, this Rogue Mage Druid, or is it going to be this new TSG? We're going to find out here in just a minute. Stay tuned, guys. I am so excited. Oh my god. Here we go. And the very first map of this best of 3 is going to be played out on glitching. Hold on. Yes, the one and only. It's the Grand Arena.
Wait, are you offline?
Nope.
I see you offline for some reason.
We're not in a party with you.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna tell him to leave.
You flying solo, man? You flying solo?
I'm not solo casting this. Hell no. Sorry, boys.
Maybe Super T's just hanging out. I guess we'll leave the party.
I just left. I just left.
Oh, I swapped over to my other tune. That's why. This is awkward. Oh, I was gonna pretend that never happened. Where are you guys at? Got Venfuki.
I love what VHL just said. He's like, yo, any of you old school dudes remember when people came up with good names for comps like RMP? WLS. Like, wow, that's so simple. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. There you go. There's Sid.
Like, I remember when there was a Shatter play. Like, you know, like Shadow Priest Mage. Yeah, Shadow play. Shadow Priest. No, but then they changed it to like if you played it with a Druid, it was Shad Tree play. Like, come on, please. No. Like, let's just.
Yeah, Cupid Cleave is not like Ret Paladins do not shoot you with love.
Yeah,
that is not.
But they got little wings like a cherub, right?
Come on, it's gotta be manly, like Justice Cleaver. I don't know. I can't come up with bad names, so I don't name any comps. Like what? But what? Like Ret Hunter Healer, not Cupid. Like,
no.
There's no love arrows in that comp, man. The Hunter is shooting nothing but death the entire time.
All right. Oh, I sent the invite out. Now it's on Runes of Lordaeron, dude. I suck at this.
Not Johnson.
No, we're supposed to
Tyrael Cleave. Tyrael Cleave is a good name. I like that for Ret Hunter.
Tyrael Cleave, I like that too. I like Tyrael. I'm into his lore, dude. I'm a nerd. Yeah, leave.
There's someone left.
Tell me a little bit about Tyrael lore. I'm interested.
Tyrael? Oh man, I don't want to sound like a.
You don't want to sound like a what?
What you say? I don't know, but I do recommend. I highly recommend. What is it? Tales of the Past 1 through 3 on Warcraft movies. They are amazing. If you wanted to look at some of the lore of World of Warcraft, and specifically the fan-made lore of the Ashbringer, so sick. It's so awesome. So definitely check that out on Warcraft movies. Shout out to them because they are putting us on the front page weekly, so that's cool.
Hey, look,
that's awesome.
I came up with the name for Warrior Moonkin. I called it Featherstorm Cleave.
Featherstorm. I do. I think that's really cool. All right. I don't know. I kind of like old school RMP, you know. But we'll see. So this is the Grand Arena. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hold down.
All right. It's RMD versus TSCHI, I guess. But yeah,
TSG.
It's a new Mistweaver monk. So this is a summon. I'm not sure if this is gonna help him out, but Oak has played in our tournaments before, and he's done well in the past. He was playing with Soapy and a Rogue, I believe. So we'll see.
I want to remember his name, but I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Mayor. I think it's Mayor.
He's a good monk.
Mageiden and Genericz already sleeping on the floor together. I think there's a little bit of a relationship going on between these two players as the gates open here in the Grand Arena. let's see if our Monk Sucks proves true here as they sub in Oak here. Sap onto Vellido, possibly opening up onto Oak. There's the full kidney shot. Cheap shot onto huge damage to try and reduce whatever he can. The kidney is going to be fading here. That was the adrenaline rush. He's going to get leg swept on it. Trinket, Vanish, Garrote, cheap shot. Oak might just go down in that. He gets the life cocoon off at 20%. Now the Recklessness Blade Storm coming out from huge damage, trying to counter pressure onto Mageiden, but Genericz is relentless. He's just attacking through the life cocoon and waiting. Mageiden gets chunked down, but that Iron Bark was really well placed by Dannycarry. Mageiden finally coming out of the stun lock here. He lands the Nova. He's going for the double Ring of Frost. That's going to connect. Oak's trying to come out. Vellido chooses to Trinket there. That's the full kidney shot, though. That's the killing spree with no bubble available. He could be in trouble, but he ports away immediately at the end of it. Great kiting so far from Oak.
Yeah, Oak doing a wonderful job there, spreading out his cooldowns, and he still has his Trinket available, and Mageiden almost dies instantly having to use that block, and that's the scary thing about them going on the Monk, like I said, is when Genericz is on this Monk and Mageiden is being trained by these melee, he's forced to use Blazing Speed and Blink to push in offensively, and he just gets stuck in a position where he's just tanking damage. Looks like the RMD is switching it over to huge damage. The heals do come out. Oak caught into the Deep Sheep. Huge damage is actually in a little bit of trouble here. His frenzied regen has worn off. Let's see if they can stop the follow-up CC from Mageiden. Mageiden does get the DR Sheep off. Meanwhile, he's taking a lot of damage. Gets the Iron Bark from Dannycarry. And Oak finally out of some CC, popping that War Mastery, freeing up his cast, and being able to top huge damage.
Yeah, Polymorph onto Vellido. Oak needs to dispel that. He does actually revival it. Now the full clone of Vellido. I believe he stole it, though, so he might be able to throw that clone back onto Dannycarry when he comes out and pressure Mageiden hard with that. Genericz Cloaks of Shadows there. Pops the kidney shot into huge damage, doing a bunch of damage to him with the Frozen Orb. He's going to life cocoon the Deep Freeze. He did that preemptively before landing in the Ring of Frost, so he would not be able to do it then, and that's going to give huge damage the time he needs. Vellido actually throwing the Cyclone onto Genericz here, and Mageiden is still taking a lot of damage. He gets locked out on the poly into the full Shockwave. He's not going to be able to blink because of the lockout there. They're just counter-pressing huge damage right now, but it's starting to look grim. Just another paralyzed. There's the Smoke Bomb actually on a huge damage here. No life cocoon available. Oak trying to get into the bomb. He throws out the leg sweep onto Genericz, who trinkets immediately, but now Oak into the full clone. I believe Vellido stole it there. He can throw it out here soon. There's the Asphyxia onto Dannycarry. Fear onto Genericz. It's going to break. He vanishes. Full poly onto Oak. They're pressuring huge damage, but he Blade Storms to avoid the stun lock.
Mageiden having to play very defensive there. Blazing Speeds away, tries to get his Invis off. Well done with the counter pressure. Huge damage. Meanwhile, caught into a full kidney. Oh, caught into the deep, and they don't really have anything available. Down at 15%. Rallying Cry does come out. Oh, caught into the full sheep and clone. He does have to trinket that. The life cocoon does come out onto huge damage, and he gets cloned on the life cocoon. Rallying's gonna fall, and if this bubble falls, he's at 1%. Caught into the full blind. As soon as this bubble falls, he should instantly die. He needs to be poked by a dagger, and he just dies. Well done by the RMD, and that's the kind of thing I wanted to see the RMD do, is go on the DPS and play that game a little bit safer.
I'm going to go take a quick look at how low he actually just got there. That was freaking incredible. Let's take a look at the replay real fast here. So right away you see the cheap shot going out onto huge damage. He's taking huge damage right now. The deep freeze on the Oak and the poly and clone to do it, and he trinkets out of it. He has Rallying Cry and he puts the cocoon on him, but he's just not able to heal him as he's in the full Cyclone. Amazing Cyclone from Dannycarry, and look at his health right now. He has no health at all. Cocoon is about to fall right there, and it's just one hit and he is down. And that's the first game of this RMD versus TSCHI. And now it's the TSCHI's turn to choose the map. Do you think that that's going to matter at all? That seemed really convincing for the RMD.
I'm not sure what map would help them, but I do know as soon as they started going the Warrior instead of Oak, like, that freed up a lot of damage on them, and the game just felt like they were in a lot more control instead of like having to sort of overextend and put themselves in a dangerous position. It felt like they were in much more control of the game.
Yeah.
Vellido did manage to steal that Cyclone at the end. He used it on Dannycarry. I feel like, I mean, no matter what, he was probably dead, 1% health with no life cocoon, but I feel like throwing that clone onto Dannycarry might have been misplaced. Like, there's like little things you could maybe say, like, oh, what if he reflected the clone, or like paralyzed it, or just anything really. Death gripped it because it was so critical that didn't land. So if they're aware of that and they don't let Dannycarry get that Cyclone, it could turn around for them. Mageiden was getting pressured really hard. I believe he went through both blocks, maybe only one.
I think it was only one.
Yeah, only one. Pretty sure.
I think it was one, and he probably had that second block coming up soon.
This TSG doesn't seem to want to ever pressure Dannycarry, so They seem to always be going on the Mage regardless of what team it is, and it seems to be the strat they like, but they need the CC chain, they need the in-caps, they need the stuns on Dannycarry really to force that CD more often. If they can get that, they can do it, but it requires offensive play, which then puts them in a vulnerable position. Let's see if Genericz can get that nice opener with Sap, Cheap Shot, and Kidney all at the same time, though. Position here on the far side. Death and Decay comes down. Not going to pull anyone out. Portal was laid. Sap onto Vellido. Cheap Shot onto huge damage. Deep Freeze onto Oak. Trying to get the Polymorph onto him. He does land the Polymorph. Kidney Shot onto huge damage. The Adrenaline rushes up. He did steal a Cyclone there, or Reflected, I believe. So Dannycarry sat a Cyclone there into the Asphyxia. He has to Trinket. Pops all of his Trents and Ines's Mageiden here very early on to try and keep him offensive onto huge damage, who activates the Recklessness Blade Storm. But again, it was counteracted by all the CDs that Dannycarry used there. He's going for a clone once again. He fakes the Dark Simulacron. So he's going to be able to top Mageiden, go for that Cyclone once again, Cycloning Vellido, but huge damage in the meantime. 100,000 HP. He gets the Life Cocoon before the Cyclone onto Oak. Triple Shockwave landed, though. Mageiden getting kind of chunked here if huge damage can connect. The leg sweep onto Genericz and Dannycarry. Charge comes in. He locks out that Polymorph. He's not going to be able to blink, but nice Iron Bark from Dannycarry.
And Oak doesn't have his bubble or trinket available. He still has Nimble Brew, and this TSG is doing a little bit of damage to Mageiden, but they haven't really forced much at all. I mean, Dannycarry has no trinket, but Mageiden's still sitting on both his blocks, and huge damage could be in a lot of trouble. You know, he doesn't have his Frenzy Regen, and meanwhile, Mageiden, getting almost destroyed instantly, has to go into that block. Huge damage caught into the full Kidney. Oak just channeling Soothing Mist behind the pillar, letting his statue heal him. Well played by him.
Yeah, and huge damage had to use that regen. Mageiden gets grip back. He's in hypothermia. He's going to blink. Shockwave landed onto Generic as well. Pillar of Frost is still up for about 10 seconds, but he does get ice or rooted on it. He's going to come out of that. Leg sweep onto Danny. Maybe a paralyze out of the paralyze lands, but they're just not able to connect. Amazing cheap shot peels onto Vellido into the Polymorph. Now Kidney onto huge damage, and the smoke bomb comes out. Possibly the killing spree. There's the killing spree. He could just go down. This is it. 50,000. He gets the rally off and the die by the sword at 50,000 HP. Oak into the full clone, though. Stun into Danny. He's trying to counter pressure as much as he can. Oak's going to come out of that, but Rally's going to fall on the clone. He's going to be 1 HP. Yeah. 7,000 HP. Can he heal? The ring comes out. Over.
Beautiful. Beautiful ring by Mageiden there. And those clones, that CC was amazing by Dannycarry. Well played by him.
Wow, they played great. Oak's team definitely played amazing, but this RMD is just so dominant. Let's just take a quick look at that once again. I mean, right away you see Oak's already in that CC, and huge damage is already taking a lot of damage. But watch Mageiden. Mageiden's trying to play defensive at the same time. He gets that rally off and die by the sword, as it does reduce damage as well as parry melee. But this clone, Dannycarry, on just so good at getting those offensive clones. The rally fades. He has 2% health here, and they just whack him once, and he falls right over. So that is going to be